windows and mirrors. And it's about 15, 20 art essays about exhibitions I've curated. And in that time, I developed a short arrangement of curating exhibitions. One is to gather groups of people together around an idea or a thought or a place, a site, where they all talk to that site from different angles. So I was asked to write this last year essay for the last Meanjin magazine that just incidentally, after something like 80 years also, was now finished. It's now finished. It came from two things. One is that all Aboriginal art is about a place, and all art is about a place. Once at the end of every year, I went to spend time, I lived and spent time in Remenginning. There was a ritual where thousands of people came together to sing and dance and spiritually ensure that the world would turn and the whole world would be reborn again. Life would go on, society would go on. It was to define who they were. They confirmed or affirmed their relationship to each other. They affirmed their relationship to the society they lived in and the wider Australian society. They affirmed their relationship to the environment and to the spiritual cosmos. So after spending every year taking part in these rituals, I came to three principles of putting exhibitions together, of bringing related people together about a place, a site that might be a place in Arnhem. It may be a place in Venice. It may be a place in Australia, about Australian history. It was to bring people together to affirm all those things, to talk about a specific thing. So there are three rules about exhibitions, and one is about place. So when Archie Moore, I travelled with Archie Moore to Venice, I kept referring back to the fact that he lived on an island like Venice. He lived on an island in Moreton Bay, in the mouth of the river of Moreton Bay in Queensland. He lived in a familiar place, a similar place to the place of Venice on a little island. So it's to keep referring back to those things. However, the most important work that I did up till this time was in 1988, when Australia came to celebrate the bicentenary. The most important thing was to remember Australia's history. So I originally came up with a plan to make 500 burial poles, trees that referred to the forest of Australia, and also to the killings of all the Aboriginal people in Australia, on the continent of Australia. So these referred to chopping down, as I've said in the essay, the colonists immediately when they came here started to cut down the trees on the island of Australia. And I wanted 500 of these trees to be placed in the middle of Parliament House, new Parliament House, that was being built at the time. What happens now is this centre of Parliament House is this vacant space. And it's so crucial or so emblematic of Australian society that we think we haven't really constructed our society. We are from Europe in one way, but we're different. We are a new society. And in a way, it's a lack of faith, a lack of courage to construct that society. So in other cities, in other countries, they also have a dome-shaped building, say in Germany, but the whole building in Germany is glass. So you can look in and see Parliament in action. In the centre of Parliament House in Australia, they've left the centre here, they've never put anything there except the Malevich black square. And I wanted to fill this space with 500 burial poles to say this is the beginning of this nation, this is the beginning of this continent. It's the trees and the environment, but it's also all the Aboriginal nations that were here when Europeans arrived. And when they ran out of money, having spent too much on marble or something, the National Gallery took this up, and the number became not 500 but 200 burial poles about the wars that were fought here and the people who died that were totally unacknowledged. To this day, they're still really unacknowledged. The man, Nick Waterlow, who did the 1988 Biennale of Sydney, said this is the single most important artwork in the Biennale of Sydney for 1988. This is the most important piece. When the National Gallery took it up, they wanted to do something emblematic for 1988, to say something dramatic. And they did. In commissioning this work, they said, we will commission it, we will back it. And James Mollison, said at the time, this must be one of the greatest artworks ever made in Australia's history. Following the style of a ceremony, it has 44 artists coming together to make all these artworks to show diversity and unity of the universe, of the nation, of the environment, how everything is interconnected and everything balances against each other, feeds off each other, and how the nation is such a place, a complexity of different people, objects, places that are all interconnected.